that they are worthless people, which is why they go to psychiatrists and why they're on medication. It's the only explanation for what is going on in the American media today. New York City, WOR, Andy, go ahead, please. You're on the Savage Nation.
Michael, you remind me exactly of my sixth grade teacher, Mr.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad I've moved up to that level.
Oh, well, let me tell you, he was a great, great man. He was an ex-Marine, Korea, as well as Vietnam.
Oh, well, in those days, you're talking about a long time ago. I remember when I was a kid in high school in Queens in New York in the 50s, most of my teachers were World War II veterans. They were as tough as nails. We didn't have the pothead hippies yet. Though coming in to tell us America was no good.
He was a man's man. He gave me a personal book out of his library because we had to do, the class had to do a book report on a military leader, and I couldn't choose one. I didn't know what to do. He gave me one of his personal books from a library. I still have it today. I treasure it to this day. That had about a half dozen men. And I happened to pick Curtis Emerson LeMay. And when I heard you talking, I knew exactly who you were talking about before you finished your first sentence at the beginning of the show. And, Michael, you just made my week. You made my year.
But, Andy, a guy like Curtis LeMay, gruff, cigar-chumping, didn't talk a lot, short, mean, scowled. He wouldn't last 10 minutes in today's military.
Michael, you watch. The absolute downfall of the country will be when we have, and I really don't care who takes this the wrong way. When we have the first female chief of staff of the Army, that's when we know it's all over.
No, wait a minute. We had a female general in the Army, and she turned around and sued the military, didn't she? You remember that case a few years ago under Bush?
You are 100% right.
One of the first things she did was sue the Army for sexism.
Exactly. And they're also trying right now, secretly behind the scenes, Hillary and Obama are silently trying to castrate the United States Marines. I have some family.
That's right, because the U.S. Marines are still in a class by themselves, and I know that they don't like them because they don't answer to the congresswomen very nicely. Thank you. And never forget that it was Congresswoman Pat Schroeder of Colorado who single-handedly almost destroyed the United States naval aviation, the ability of the naval aviators. She went after them tooth and claw with the fake story that they topped a woman in a hotel. In a hotel, they picked on women. Remember what she did? The witch hunt. Pat Schroeder, communist, Colorado. She's the one who almost destroyed naval aviation in the United States of America. You may think that this is all lightweight stuff. These people hate the country. These people would like to see us as a satellite of a new world order communist dictatorship, and they're very close to have won everything. Make no mistake about it, Obama is exactly them. Obama is an internationalist. Obama is basically catering to the world powers. Obama is in Russia right now saying he will destroy 1/3 of America's nuclear arsenal. These are frightening things going on. And so you may as well enjoy as much as you can out of the United States of America today. We have the worst people in American history running the country today. Bar none, maybe 5% of Congress are people who actually think about America and what's best for America, if that high. We have the most venal and the lowest common denominator running this country today, and I don't know where this ends. I don't know how much worse it can get, but it certainly will get worse before it gets better. I'll be right back.
Hi there, we are Armstrong and Getty. We're on every morning 6 to 10 here on 910 KNEW, or download the podcast and listen anytime at 910KNEW.com.
From heavy metal on the Savage Nation, since it's all about music today and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. With Michael Jackson rated 12,000th on a list of musicians, I thought I'd play some people in the upper tier so you know the difference between someone rated 12,000th and somebody ranked in the top tier of greats in the world of music. After all, you're celebrating a great musician, aren't you? I suppose they're going to have to take his brain to Albert Einstein College and see what enabled him to produce such great music, such as I'm Bad. Ayachi by Pavarotti on the Savage Nation. Tomorrow I will not be celebrating Michael Jackson's life. I'll be celebrating that thank God he's being buried and it's over soon. so that the American cattle can get back into their, well, what's the difference? What's the point? What's the point of me getting upset over this? If you weren't upset over it, you wouldn't be listening to me. Let's put it to you that way. Whatever my audience is, it doesn't really matter. You would not be spending your valuable time right now listening to my show if you like Michael Jackson. Okay, let me put it to you that way. Let's put it to you in that context. I'm sick of this already. How much can you take of this garbage? You think he was Handel and Mozart in one? You think he was Handel and Mozart and Beethoven wrapped up in one? A man who destroyed himself with surgery. He was so crazy, a drug addict. And look what they're doing. Who's doing this to your mind? Again, the Silenterates in the media. Animals without backbones with pancake makeup. Animals without backbones who know how to make a Windsor knot have done this to your country. Thank God for talk radio. God bless America. 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. Ray in New York on WOR. Go ahead, please.
Michael, I heard your comment about Peter King. He is my congressman. The man is definitely one of the 10% good guys.
Yeah, he's a good guy, but he won't come on the Savage Nation. So I respect him for this statement that he made about Jackson, but I don't respect him for not coming on this program.
He tells it like it is, Michael.
So do I. So why would he be afraid to come on this show?
That I couldn't tell you.
All right, good. You know, no one's 100% except me. 1-800-449-825. Former Defense Secretary Robert McNamara dies. That'll be the next celebration. A bean-counting weasel who stabbed our troops in the back and then went on a crying tour in America about what he did to our troops in Vietnam is now held up by the media as a great American man when, in fact, it was Curtis LeMay who was a far better man. Other stories, you wouldn't know this over the weekend, but your friend in North Korea shot rockets, again in a provocation, and Obama did nothing. He looked the other way. Our ships may as well have their propellers taken off them. It's like, you know, Battleship Potemkin. Those of you who know the Eisenstein movie Battleship Potemkin or vaguely remember it from college film class. You know, I'll never forget that movie. I remember I was quite young. I was in a village theater, the West Village, I think, and they were showing Battleship Potemkin. And I'll make this quick because it's not a very popular movie, but a group of people in the audience, some young people, started to laugh at some of the scenes. I guess they thought it was comic to see Russian naval officers and naval men dying on a ship. They were laughing. They thought it was a Charlie Chaplin movie. They were probably high. And a Russian couple sitting next to me, who I didn't know, looked at each other, and they were appalled. They said to each other, why are they laughing? Why are these Americans laughing at the scene in Battleship Potemkin? And, of course, that stuck with me all my life. It's interesting to me what sticks in your mind, you know, as you go through life. What sticks in your mind and what doesn't stick in your mind. It's amazing to me. That stuck in my mind for some reason. But now we come to an age where we have still one of the, maybe the greatest Navy on earth, being run by perhaps not the greatest leadership in the history of the United States Navy. They may as well take the propellers off our ships and just turn them into floating birthing clinics for what good they're doing us. They did nothing when Iran was threatening us. They do nothing when North Korea is threatening us. What in the world did we spend these trillions of dollars for, I ask myself? What do we need missiles and ships and trained men and women if we have leaders who are unwilling to authorize them launching on our enemies? Now you say, well, maybe Obama did the right thing by not reacting to North Korea because, after all, they haven't blown us up yet. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at North Korea is this, which is that fire the missiles from our cruisers in the Sea of Japan and wipe out the launch pads. I didn't say annihilate any cities in North Korea. I said destroy the launching pads so this lunatic can't provoke a world war. Wipe them out. Say, well, if you do that, he'll launch an artillery attack on South Korea. My answer is he's going to launch an artillery attack on South Korea at some point anyway, and you may as well get him while he's weak rather than while he's strong. And I think that the long and short of this discussion is that the United States Navy has become a disgrace under Admiral Mike Mullen, who has now been elevated under Bush and now Obama to be the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. His parents were public relations agents in Hollywood.
Savage.
Michael Savage.
Afternoons 3 to 7.
On Talk 910 KNEW.
And online at 910knew.com.